as we can all see, I'm in a homestead in Semekokere, and in this homestead, it's pure agriculture. I'm going to speak to one of the individuals of this homestead, that is Kennedy Ojuang, and actually we are going to talk about so many things. One of the things we are going to talk about is the production of red worms, or what is known as vermiculture, and another thing what we call as hydroponics, that is what the production of grains without the use of soil. Someone might be surprised that how can we produce a grain without soil. We will all of these will be covered in this segment of the show, and this is KDR TV in partnership with Sky FM YouTube channel. Stay tuned for the whole segment of this program. Okay, and now that we are actually here, from someone who is not entailed or detailed so much on agriculture, what we see or what somebody might be seeing is soil.
Yeah, sure.
What are these? Can you explain to us what these are?
Yeah, this is the production of worms. We call it vermiculture.
Yeah.
Vermiculture is the cultivation of worms for the decomposition of manure.
Yeah.
So it's that simple. This is cultivation of worms for the composition of manure. But then we have another advantage, as the manure gets decomposed by the worms, we also get something known as vermiculture, which is a biofertilizer.
Yeah. Now, this soil, are the worms coming with the soil, or you introduce the worms into the soil after bringing them there?
Okay, sorry. So the worms, we buy them. So these are red worms. The red worms, we buy them. So after buying them, we make the bin. We do like before making the bin, what you do, you put the empty bin, you put what is it, it's called gravel, the first layer, and then you put sand, and then you put this manila. This one will prevent the worms from not flowing while you sprinkle water. When you're watering the vermi bin, the manila prevents the worms from escaping. And then from there, you add manure, fresh manure, from fresh dung from the dairy unit. And then you come and mix with a little bit of soil, and then you add your worm seeds. Worm seeds. We call them worm seeds. From the red worms. You have like a handful of 2 handful you put. And then after like in 3 weeks or 4 weeks time, they will have multiplied. But then you have to feed them. Actually, you talked about 3 things here. There is soil, there is sand, and there is the manila. You've actually told us the work of the manila. The manila to prevent the worms from... What about the work of that sand? There's a reason why. As we sprinkle water, for at least to help in decomposition, it becomes easier for the worms. You know, they also have to get water. You have to feed them. So they have to get the feeds and water. But then, as you sprinkle that, when the water stagnates here, it will make the worms burst. So then water needs, like if you sprinkle them, it flows and we get the vermiculture, which we tap here. So the reason why we are placing gravel there and then we are placing sand is when we put the manila is to allow easy circulation, easy flow of water. Because without that, the water will stagnate here. And then once the water stagnates here, the worms burst. Okay. And now, at what duration or at what point that you realize that you now add more water after the vermiculture that has been produced down here? How do you realize that the water is over now, I should be adding more? Oh, it's okay. You would just know if it becomes, we water it daily. It's just a routine that you have, like human beings need to take water daily. The worms too, they need water on daily basis. So you don't need to wait until it's over? You don't need to wait like it's over or whatever, because you'll never, when you find the cast or the manure dry, you'll have to water it. But then to prevent that, you have to do it like on daily basis. Yeah, sure. And now about the vermiculture, we've produced vermiculture here. What do you do with the vermiculture, and at what point that you realize when do you realize that the vermiculture should now be used, and how do we use it? This is, we are promoting organic farming. And this is agroecology technology. This is vermiculture is one of the agroecology technologies. So we are promoting organic farming. So the reason why we are promoting organic farming, you find there are a lot of diseases nowadays. So once we do this is vermiculture. once farmers start doing this, they will reduce cost of production. Once the cost of production is reduced, we get a larger profit margin. But then the vermijuice, we will use it as a biofertilizer instead of using the inorganic fertilizers. So the biofertilizer, this one will act as a foliar fertilizer. Once you use them on the Africa leafy vegetables, the black nightshade and all these, the African leafy vegetables, the leaves becomes broader, and it makes the leaves be fresh and good. And then while we be feeding on this, it becomes the organic feeding, not the inorganic one.
Okay, to each and every person who is watching this now, we always say that, or we always believe that agriculture is something that is left to our parents or to our guardians or to the oldies or to those. Actually, as I was growing up, I knew that agriculture is something that we left for our parents, because at some point you could be woken up early and then you get so annoyed that why am I waking up so early? Actually, what we are promoting here, what I forgot to say is that that kind of business or agribusiness, that's what actually agribusiness means. You bring something into the pocket as we use them, and actually we have to bring more than what we use.
You have to get
from getting vermijuice. What do you say, or what can you say according to the cost that we incur into using this kind of program or project? Do you incur more cost, or you reduce the cost?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. I'd already mentioned that we're doing, this is agroecology technology, and this is organic farming. The organic farming, we're bringing it to youth so that the youths come and emulate whatever it is we are doing. We're trying to encourage the youths to go the organic way. So this organic vermiculture is one of the technology of technology of agroecology. So the reason why we are trying to advise farmers, young farmers, to engage in this, to reduce the cost of production. You know, let's say you are to buy fertilizers. The prices have gone high. The rates are high nowadays, but then if you try to do vermiculture, you'll have cast. Cast is the product you get after decomposing, after the worms have decomposed the manure, the fresh cow dung. So the cast will be used, can be used as DAP while planting. So you will have reduced the cost of buying fertilizers, the DAP. So you'll use the cast from the vermiculture production. So that is one advantage, and that is one reason why we are trying to advise the youths to at least try and start doing vermiculture production, because from there you will get many advantages, because you will get cast, which you'll use in production of your vegetables and your vegetables and other crops you are doing, and then you'll also get the vermijuice. The vermijuice I've mentioned, it's a biofertilizer, of which it's a foliar fertilizer. You can use it on the African leafy vegetables to broaden the leaves, and it will attract more money for you. And this will also encourage others to buy your products, because you are doing the organic one. You're going the organic way, and that is the best way now to go.
Going back to the vermijuice, we've talked about producing or its production. At what point do you use it? Does it have to take some period of time before you get into use with it?
Thank you. Vermijuice, like let's say you sprinkle like on daily basis, and then you will see the color. If you see the color is conch, you will have to like dilute it when using it as a foliar fertilizer, or not, unless they will bring damages to the vegetables. But then you'll have to dilute it 1 to 2.22, the ratio. Of the vermijuice and water, 1 to 2 parts of water. And then your question was,
at what point do we use it now?
You'll use it when you see its conch, and not the moderate conchness, not too much conch, because when it becomes too much conch, it might damage them. So if you find it's too much conch, you'll have to dilute it to get the.
So when you realize that it's conch or the color has changed, now you dilute it.
You can dilute it if it is too much conch, but if it's a moderate conch, you just use it as a foliar fertilizer.
And what brings it into being more conch and not being...
Okay, thank you. Let's say I sprinkle water the first time. The product, the vermijuice, will be light. So I'll have to redo it. I take it again back to the same process.
So you take the vermi
yeah,
juice
this
produced.
same
Okay.
because it is still dilute.
Okay.
I will have to take it back like once or twice, and then the color will change because the composition will occur again. It will come out as with different color. So
Okay.
when I see the conkness coming to be moderate, not the light one, I'll start using it as a foliar fertilizer. But then when it is too much conk, I'll have to dilute it because it might damage the vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking about the feeds of these worms, what do you feed them on? Apart from giving them, maybe you talked about giving them. I think we will be going back to the issue. But what do we use into feeding the worms?
Thank you. I will come to this other side. This is the production of hydroponics.
Okay.
Hydroponics is the production of plants without soil.
Yeah.
You don't use soil, you just use water.
Talking about the feeds of the worms, what do you feed the worms with?
We're trying to reduce the cost of production.
Yeah.
So whatever it is we do, the kitchen waste, we use them. They like the ugali, the fresh vegetables, not the cooked ones, the fresh vegetables, the ones which people throw away. Instead of throwing them away, we use them in feeding the worms. Like the sukuma wiki, after we've the stalks, the remnants of the sukuma wiki after cutting, you bring them to the vermi bin. They help as they become the feeds. And the kitchen waste, except the acidic kitchen waste.
The acidic ones.
The acidic ones, like the orange peels, orange remnants, and all anything acidic does not go well with vermiculture because it will make the worms burst.
Okay.
Like I said, if you don't use the gravel and the sand to help the flow of water, if the water is retained here, if the water stagnates here, it will make the worms burst.
Okay.
The same way, if you use acidic thing, they will the acidic contact will kill the worms.
Yeah.
So we'll have to use the alkaline, the things that are not as acidic.
And now, from the worms which are this side, are they the same as these ones?
Yeah, they're the same. They're the same. There's that one. That one is 310 liters, that bin. This one is 210. This one is 210. They're the same. But then I'm trying to like expand so I do a much a broader. I have a huge production. So far, I'm doing this, and we sell the cast, which is a product of the best, the good fertilizer, the good manure that is here. The end product. This is the cast, and also we also sell the worms. It's also a business because you use the worms in feeding the birds to supplement protein in them.
Okay, talking about their use or the use of vermijuice in our farms. What amount of vermijuice can be used in what amount of or what scale or what size of our farms?
Oh, it's okay. Not necessarily as such, but then whatever it is, let's say I have known, like, I don't have the exact quantification for that, but then you'll just spray. Let's say you have an knapsack and you put the vermijuice in it. You'll just spray as you go. That is why we are advising farmers, if you are going to do like larger acreage, you'll have to increase the production of the vermiculture so that you have more vermijuice and you have more worms and you have more cast. So as you keep, like, let's say you are enlarging into 1 acre, 2 acre, 3 acres, I'll have to like increase my production. Or that person, that youth engaging in that production will have to increase the production. Let's say the more you produce, the more it can help. The more you reduce the cost of production. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Thank you. And on the issue of maybe you say you buy the worms. Do we say, or is there any point that we can say that some worms have died and we need to add more, or they are always?
They multiply. Once let's say I put a handful here. Yeah. After a month, I will find they've multiplied. Yeah. They've multiplied. So after they've multiplied in this bin, if I need to add another bin here, the same capacity, I'll just take a handful and place it on the other side, following the same process we'd followed. So I'll just take a handful, and after a month, it will have multiplied the other side. So they multiply very fast. So long as you feed them with the vegetables, anything that is decomposable, you can feed them, so long as they are not acidic.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And talking about the products we get from the vermiculture, Is there any other or any other product we can find from here apart from the vermijuice?
Apart from the vermijuice, we use the worms in feeding the birds to supplement protein.
Apart from
that, we can also sell the worms to other interested youths who would wish to engage into vermiculture production. We also sell to them. And then, apart from that, we also sell the cast. People come and buy the cast from here. So the cast is best over the fertilizer. The cast is the best DAP ever because it is organic.
Thank you so much. And I'm seeing so many things inside this place. Apart from the vermiculture and the vermijuice production here, there are some other things at my back. I think if my camera person could just pan and kindly tell us what are these and how are they here and why are they placed here with the vermiculture?
Yeah, so this we are doing, I'm trying to integrate things. So this we are doing hydroponics. This is hydroponics. Hydroponics, this is the production of seeds without using soil. We just use water. But then I was trying to say earlier that instead of using water, you know, this production will need some nutrients. That is why at the same place I'm doing hydroponics, I'm also doing vermiculture. So that the end product, the vermijuice, I use it to feed the seeds, so that at least when they sprout and they grow healthier. So when I use the vermijuice, it will be like a fertilizer. It will help the seeds to have the plants to get the correct nutrients instead of using pure water, which has no most nutrients.
Talking about production of the seeds or the seeds growing with no soil. How is that possible? Because as I have grown and up to the age I'm in now, I always know that soil must be there for the germination or for the growth of every seed. How do we, what skill are you using into the production of these?
So thank you. You know, these are new technologies. As I earlier said, this is agroecology technologies. These are technologies which are coming in, and we are trying to engage the youths to at least try and uptake this, so that at least we reduce the cost in production. Let's say many farmers and many youths, once you tell them to engage into agriculture, they say they don't have land. So this is an example. We try to engage them and tell them that it's not a must that you must produce on land. You can just have a portion going up, and you're doing flats, or even in flats you can also do hydroponics and vermiculture. As in, you will only need water. But then we are trying to advise you to, at the same time you're doing hydroponics, you also do vermiculture, so that you use the vermijuice into watering the plants, so that at least you'll be giving them manure in such a way.
And now, after their germination, do we say we harvest them, or what do we do? We harvest and what kind of plants can be produced here?
We do millet, we do sorghum, we do barley, we do, but then, you know, these are the barley and all this, they are a bit expensive. And you know, whatever it is we are doing agroecology, we are trying to bring in these technologies to reduce the cost of production. So that is why I'm using this sorghum. So at least, you know, it's cheap. And you'll also find the things I'm using in watering them are available resources. So that at least, you know, when you talk of reducing costs, I'll only use the available resources. Like let's say, for example, I will tap the vermijuice from here. After I've tapped the vermijuice from here, I'll use this vermijuice to feed instead of buying like a knapsack sprayer, which will the farmer will have to also spend to use whatever is available. And that is why we are trying to teach farmers circular economy.
Reduction of cost from the lowest point.
Circular economy, because if you have ugali from the kitchen, come and feed the worms. The worms will decompose, give you manure, which is cast ready. They will decompose, give you vermijuice, which will use to also feed the hydroponics. So hydroponics will use all the vermijuice, which will help them grow healthier, to also feed the birds and the dairy.
Now the plants you've produced here, they are basically used for the feeds.
They
for
circulate
feeding
in my farm.
Okay.
We use them to feed the birds and.
So there is
and,
no
and
at no point that we can say you harvest these ones for your own use again.
No. Because the population, it's densely populated.
Yeah.
So we'll not have the fruits, we'll have the vegetative part of it.
Okay.
And the vegetative part of it is essential for the birds as vitamin supplement.
Okay.
And also you can use them in my dairy cattle to feed them. So I'll use limited space to do production.
Okay.
So I'm trying to use limited space to do production.
Is there any possibility of a transplant?
Of a transplant of hydroponics. So far from the practical part of it, it's not advisable. I'm not in a position to advise that.
Yeah.
But then we are doing this. We harvest and give the birds after 2 weeks.
Okay.
After bringing them here, so it goes around like that.
Okay. And can we be convinced that each and every grain here will germinate and will grow, or there are some which might not grow?
The percentage is high because the process of doing hydroponics, preparing hydroponics, you will first soak them with a disinfectant.
Yeah.
So instead of buying disinfectant, we trying to advise farmers to use salt. Okay. We've mentioned we use the available resources to reduce cost of production. So instead of going to buy disinfectants, you'll find you're spending a lot. So we use salt. We soak in salt for 6 to 12 hours. And then after that, we rinse with twice or thrice. Yeah. The last water on the third point, we use it to soak the seeds. Okay. After soaking it with salt for 6 to 12 hours, we also have another 24 hours soaking with fresh water. Okay. After soaking in fresh water, after 24 hours, we now bring them, we now sieve the water out, and then we use a dark cloth. Because the sprouting of this will need dark place. Okay. So we use a dark cloth to allow the seeds to sprout. For example, you see they've started sprouting. I just brought them out today.
You can see,
So once they're here, you every 2-3 hours you sprinkle vermijuice.
Every 2 to 3 hours.
Every 2 to 3 hours you sprinkle vermijuice. Because whatever it is they need is just this juice. It has all the nutrients in it. Okay. It is biofertilizer. It has all the nutrients in it. So whatever it is they need is just that. So after every 2 to 3 hours, you need not to leave them to dry up. Okay. You sprinkle, and they'll just grow, and then you feed the birds, you feed the animals like that. And then the remains you don't ever throw. You bring them again. And feed the worms again.
So we can as well use these ones to feed the worms.
Yeah, because the worms will feed on it again. So we're trying to reduce to bring this production to zero wastage. Okay. Circular economy.
Thank you so much. And that's so fantastic, where we say the integration from here, from here. And now we feel at least there is some cost of production that has been reduced. To every viewer watching this from home, this has been your captain, Adede Jr. And I was with my good friend here, who has taught me a lot into agriculture, or in agriculture, that we can at least reduce the cost of production and at the same time produce or have a lot of money in our pockets. Because I like the point or the part of money. My name is Captain Adede Jr.